Before the fall, before the world had shape, before the first star ignited the endless night, there existed only the light. It was not a light that burned like fire nor shone like the sun. It was alive, eternal, perfect, and absolute. From this light came the first beings ever created, the angels. They were not born. They were spoken into existence. Each angel was formed from a single word of divine power, and every word carried purpose. Some were warriors. Some were watchers. Some were keepers of time. Some guarded the edges of creation where darkness waited beyond existence. Above them all stood the first circle, the highest angels ever created. Michael, the sword of heaven. Gabriel, the voice of God. Raphael, the healer of souls. Uriel, keeper of wisdom. And among them stood one more. Lucifer. He was not the strongest. He was not the wisest. But he was the most beautiful. His wings shone brighter than dawn, and his presence filled heaven with music no instrument could ever create. Where he walked, light bent and shimmered like living gold. The angels admired him. The heavens adored him. Even the stars seemed to shine brighter when he passed. Lucifer was called the morning star, and for a long time, there was only peace. Heaven stretched endlessly, a kingdom of floating golden cities, crystal rivers, and endless skies painted with colors no human eye would ever see. Angels flew freely between towers made of light. Songs echoed across eternity. Nothing changed. Nothing died. Nothing suffered. Until the day creation began. God spoke again. But this time, the words were different. They were heavier, stronger, dangerous, and the universe was born. Stars ignited like explosions of fire across the darkness. Galaxies spun into existence. Worlds formed from dust and flame. Angels gathered at the edges of heaven to watch. Never before had they seen such power. Never before had they witnessed something new. Lucifer stood at the front, silent, watching, thinking. Michael approached him. The Creator makes something beyond heaven, Michael said. Lucifer nodded slowly. Yes. Michael looked at the forming worlds. They are beautiful. Lucifer's glowing eyes reflected the newborn stars. They are imperfect. Michael frowned. Everything created by him is perfect. Lucifer did not answer. But doubt had already begun. Ages passed. Worlds formed and died. Stars burned and collapsed. Angels continued their eternal duties. But Lucifer changed. He spent long ages alone at the borders of heaven, watching creation unfold. He studied everything. Patterns, movement, growth, decay, and something troubled him. Why create beings that could suffer? Why create worlds that could die? Why create darkness at all? One day Lucifer stood before the throne. No angel had ever dared approach without being called. Light radiated endlessly from the throne. No form could be seen. Only presence. Only power. Only infinity. Lucifer bowed. Creator, he said. The universe trembled at his voice. I seek understanding. Silence filled eternity. Then came the voice. Deep. Endless. Unavoidable. What do you wish to know? Lucifer raised his head. Why create beings weaker than angels? The light intensified. They will grow. Lucifer hesitated. And if they fail? They will learn. Lucifer's wings shifted uneasily. And if they destroy themselves? They will be judged. Lucifer spoke carefully. Angels would not fail. The voice answered calmly. Angels cannot choose. The words struck Lucifer like thunder. Cannot choose. For the first time in eternity, Lucifer felt something new. Not anger. Not pride. But curiosity. Soon after came the final creation. The one that would change everything. God created humanity. From dust and breath. From weakness and potential. From mortality and hope. The angels gathered to witness. Two figures stood in a garden filled with living light. Adam and Eve. Fragile. Small. Temporary. Lucifer watched silently. Michael stood beside him. They are loved, Michael said. Lucifer answered quietly. They are flawed. Then came the command. All angels were called before the throne. Billions gathered across heaven like stars filling the sky. The voice spoke. Behold my newest creation. Adam and Eve stood below, innocent, unaware. And I command you. The universe held its breath. Bow before them. Shock spread across heaven. Never before had angels been commanded to bow, especially not to creatures made of dust. Michael knelt instantly. Gabriel followed. Raphael bowed. Uriel lowered his head. Millions of angels obeyed. But one remained standing. Lucifer. His wings slowly unfolded. Golden light spread across the sky. I will not bow, he said. The words echoed like thunder. Silence fell across heaven. Michael looked up in horror. Lucifer. Lucifer's voice remained calm. They are lesser beings. The throne radiated overwhelming power. I created them. Lucifer answered. You created us first. The light trembled. They have freedom. Lucifer stepped forward. And we do not. The voice grew immense. You were made perfect. Lucifer answered quietly. Then why do I question? The universe shook. And for the first time, heaven felt fear. Lucifer spread his wings. If they are free. His voice echoed across eternity. Then angels should be free. Murmurs spread across heaven. Thousands of angels looked at each other. Something unknown began to grow. Doubt. Lucifer raised his voice. Why must we serve forever? More angels turned. More wings shifted. Michael stood. Enough. His sword of light ignited. You speak rebellion. Lucifer turned slowly. I speak truth. A third of heaven listened. And that was enough. The war of heaven had begun. But the fall had not yet come. The first rebellion. Heaven had never known silence like this before. For the first time since the beginning of existence, the angels did not sing. They whispered. They questioned. They wondered. Lucifer stood alone before the throne, yet he was no longer truly alone. Behind him stood angels who had begun to doubt. Angels who had never before questioned their purpose. Michael stepped forward, his armor blazing like a newborn sun. His voice shook heaven itself. Lucifer, kneel. Lucifer looked at him calmly. I kneel only to truth. Gasps spread across the endless skies. No angel had ever spoken such words. Michael's wings unfolded, vast and blinding. You were the greatest of us. Lucifer answered quietly. I still am. The words cut like a blade. The throne radiated unbearable light. The voice spoke again. Lucifer. Every angel trembled. You were given beauty. You were given wisdom. You were given honor. Lucifer lowered his eyes briefly. Yes. The voice continued. And yet you choose pride. Lucifer looked up. I choose freedom. The heavens shook. Stars dimmed across the universe. Something irreversible had begun. Michael raised his sword. It burned with pure creation itself. The rebellion ends now. Lucifer smiled faintly. No. Behind him, thousands of angels stepped forward. Their wings shimmered in gold and silver light. They were not monsters. Not yet. They were still angels. Still radiant. Still holy. But something inside them had changed. Choice. Gabriel spoke softly. Brother, do not do this. Lucifer answered. I already have. Raphael stepped forward. There is still mercy. Lucifer shook his head. There is only obedience. Uriel said quietly. You misunderstand the Creator. Lucifer replied. No. His voice echoed across heaven. I understand him perfectly. Lucifer turned to the angels behind him. His voice became stronger, clearer, irresistible. You were created to serve forever. Millions listened. To obey without question. More angels turned. To exist without choice. Wings trembled. Eyes widened. Lucifer raised his hand. But we were made with minds. Silence spread. We were made to think. More angels stepped forward. And what is thought? His voice deepened. Without freedom? Thousands more joined him. Light shifted across heaven. The balance had begun to break. Michael spoke again. You lead them into darkness. Lucifer answered calmly. I lead them into truth. Michael lifted his sword. This is your final chance. Lucifer shook his head slowly. I will not bow. And then it happened. The first blow ever struck in heaven. Michael moved faster than light itself. His sword flashed through eternity. Lucifer raised his hand and stopped it. Shock spread across heaven. Never before had any being resisted Michael's blade. Golden fire exploded between them. The sky cracked like breaking glass. Energy surged across creation. Stars flickered. Worlds trembled. Time itself seemed to hesitate. Michael pushed forward. Lucifer pushed back. Two powers colliding like suns. Then Lucifer struck. Not with a weapon, but with will. A wave of force blasted across heaven. Thousands of angels were thrown backward. Crystal towers shattered. Rivers of light spilled into the void. For the first time, heaven was breaking. The loyal angels formed ranks behind Michael. Millions of wings ignited. Swords of light appeared across the skies. Gabriel raised a horn made of living gold. Its sound echoed across eternity. The call to war. The first war ever fought. Lucifer turned to his followers. No more chains, he said. No more obedience. His wings burst into blinding radiance. Choose your destiny. And they did. Weapons formed in their hands. Blades of burning silver. Spears of living fire. Shields made of light itself. The rebels lifted into the sky. An army born from doubt. Then heaven exploded into war. Angels collided in storms of fire and lightning. Blades clashed like thunder. Wings burned across the endless sky. Light struck light. Brother fought brother. Friend fought friend. The skies turned into oceans of fire. Golden feathers fell like snow. Stars dimmed from the violence. The universe felt the war. Michael fought like a storm. Every swing of his sword shattered entire legions. Rebel angels fell like meteors into the abyss below heaven. Gabriel's voice became a weapon. His words shattered weapons and broke formations. Raphael healed the wounded faster than they could fall. Uriel unleashed wisdom as power, turning the rebel strategies against them. Still, Lucifer's forces did not break, because Lucifer himself stood at the center. Unstoppable, radiant, terrifying. He moved through the battlefield like a living star. No angel could defeat him. Not alone. Michael found him again. They collided like suns. Sword against wings. Power against power. Michael struck. Lucifer blocked. Lucifer struck. Michael staggered. Heaven trembled with every blow. Michael shouted, "This ends now." Lucifer answered, "This is only the beginning." But slowly, the rebels began to lose. The loyal angels were too many, too disciplined, too united. Lucifer saw it. He understood. The war could not be won. Not here. Not in heaven. Lucifer rose high above the battlefield, higher than the towers, higher than the armies, higher than the stars themselves. His voice echoed across eternity. Fall back. The rebel angels hesitated, then obeyed. They gathered around him. Thousands wounded, thousands exhausted, but still loyal, still believing. Michael rose to face him one last time. It is over. Lucifer looked down at heaven, at the angels, at the throne, his home, for the last time. "No," he said quietly. "Now it begins." The throne spoke, and the words carried judgment. "Lucifer." The universe froze. "You have chosen rebellion." Light gathered across heaven. Unimaginable power. Judgment itself. Then fall. And heaven opened. Cast out of heaven. The word fall echoed across eternity. It was not merely a command. It was a sentence. It was the end of heaven for those who had chosen rebellion, and the beginning of something far darker. At first, nothing happened. Lucifer hovered in the sky above the broken battlefield, surrounded by thousands of wounded angels. Michael watched in silence. The loyal angels formed ranks behind him. All of heaven waited. Then the light changed. The endless golden glow of heaven began to dim around Lucifer and his followers. Slowly, unnaturally, as if heaven itself rejected them. Lucifer looked at his hands. The golden radiance that once flowed through him flickered. For the first time since his creation, he felt something new. Weakness. Not defeat. Not regret. But separation. The light was leaving him. Behind him, the rebel angels began to panic. What is happening? The light is fading. I cannot feel the presence. Fear spread quickly. Angels who had never known fear now trembled. Their wings flickered like dying stars. Their weapons dissolved into dust. Lucifer understood before the others did. They were being cut off, separated from heaven itself. Michael spoke quietly. It did not have to end this way. Lucifer turned slowly. It had to. Michael shook his head. You chose pride. Lucifer answered. I chose freedom. Michael's voice hardened. And now you choose exile. Lucifer's eyes burned brighter. I choose destiny. Then the sky tore open. A massive rift split the foundations of heaven. Not darkness. Not yet. But something empty. Something endless. Something cold. The abyss. It stretched downward forever. A void beneath creation itself. Even the loyal angels stepped back in fear. Nothing like it had ever existed before. It was not made of light. It was not made of creation. It was absence. The pull began. Invisible force dragged at Lucifer and his followers. Slow at first, then stronger. The fallen angels struggled to stay aloft. Wings beat desperately. Light flared and flickered, but heaven itself pushed them away. One angel cried out, Lucifer, help us. Another screamed, I cannot hold on. They reached for the skies, for the towers, for the light they had once called home. But heaven was already gone from them. Lucifer resisted. Power gathered around him like a storm. His wings expanded to their full size, brighter than ever before. For a moment, the pull stopped. The rebel angels hovered again. Hope returned. Michael watched silently. He knew what was coming. The throne spoke one final time. Lucifer, morning star. The universe trembled. You were the brightest of all. Lucifer did not bow. You were the most beloved. Lucifer remained silent. And now you are lost. Lucifer answered calmly. I am not lost. The voice became overwhelming. You are fallen. The light vanished. It happened instantly. Lucifer's wings shattered with a sound like breaking stars. Golden feathers exploded into the void. The light inside them turned dark. Silver became ash. Gold became black. Behind him, thousands of angels screamed as the same transformation began. Wings twisted. Light burned out. Halos cracked and dissolved. Voices turned from harmony into thunder and sorrow. Beauty became terror. And then they fell. Not flying. Falling. Endlessly downward into the abyss. Lucifer fell first. The others followed. Thousands of angels plunging through emptiness, through silence, through cold beyond imagination. Heaven became a distant glow above them. Smaller, fainter, further away, until it looked like nothing more than a single star. Time no longer existed in the abyss. There was no sky, no ground, no direction, only falling, forever falling. Some angels screamed, some prayed, some wept, some cursed the Creator. But Lucifer remained silent. His eyes burned with dark fire. Not regret, not fear, something stronger. Resolve. One angel drifted near him, once radiant and beautiful, now broken. What are we becoming? The angel asked weakly. Lucifer answered quietly. Something new. The angel trembled. We are dying. Lucifer shook his head. No. His voice echoed through the void. We are evolving. The transformation continued. Their forms changed slowly, painfully. Wings became jagged and torn. Light became flame. Eyes glowed with unnatural fire. Voices deepened into echoes. They were still angels, but no longer heavenly. They were becoming something else. Something never before seen. Fallen angels. Far above them. Michael stood at the edge of heaven, watching. Gabriel stood beside him. They are gone, Gabriel said quietly. Michael nodded. Gabriel asked, will they survive? Michael answered, yes. Gabriel looked troubled. Then this is not over. Michael said softly, no. His eyes remained fixed on the darkness below. It has only begun. At last, after what felt like eternity, Lucifer struck ground. The impact shook the abyss. Black stone shattered beneath him. Fire erupted from deep below. One by one, the fallen angels crashed around him like meteors. Flames rose. Smoke filled the air. Pain echoed everywhere. Lucifer slowly stood. For the first time since creation, he stood outside heaven. His wings were no longer golden. They were black as night. Torn. Massive. Terrible. His light was gone, replaced by dark fire. The fallen angels gathered around him. Broken. Changed. Lost. They looked to him. Their leader. Their morning star. Their fallen king. One angel whispered, where are we? Lucifer looked across the endless darkness. Mountains of black stone stretched forever. Rivers of fire flowed in the distance. Storms of ash filled the sky. A dead world. A forgotten place. Lucifer spoke slowly. This. His voice echoed like thunder. Is our kingdom now? And for the first time, Lucifer smiled. The birth of hell. The ground beneath Lucifer's feet was cold and lifeless. Black stone stretched endlessly in every direction. No light. No sky. No stars. Only darkness and distant rivers of fire that glowed like wounds in the earth. This place had no name. It had never been meant for life. Yet now, it had inhabitants. The fallen angels gathered slowly. Thousands had survived the fall. Thousands had changed. Their once radiant wings were now dark and jagged. Their armor broken. Their halos gone. Their voices deeper and heavier. They looked at each other in fear. They no longer resembled the beings they once were. They were no longer angels of heaven. They were something unknown. Something forbidden. One fallen angel approached Lucifer. Once he had been a warrior of the first circle. Now his wings were torn and burned. What do we do now? He asked. His voice echoed unnaturally. Lucifer looked across the wasteland. For a long time he said nothing. Then he answered. We build. The angel frowned. There is nothing here. Lucifer's eyes burned. Then we create. Lucifer walked across the black stone. Every step left faint, glowing marks behind him. The fallen angels followed silently. They trusted him. They had chosen him. And now he would lead them again. Not in heaven, but in exile. They reached a vast empty plain surrounded by mountains of jagged rock. Lucifer stopped. He raised his hand slowly. Power gathered around him. Different from heaven's light. Heavier. Darker. Raw. This power did not come from the Creator. It came from will. From defiance. From existence itself. Lucifer spoke. This world is ours. The ground trembled. Fire burst from beneath the stone. Cracks spread across the earth like lightning. Mountains rose upward. Stone twisted and reshaped. Rivers of lava carved glowing paths across the darkness. The fallen angels watched in awe. They had never seen creation without the Creator. Lucifer lowered his hand. The land had changed. It was still dark. Still harsh. Still cruel. But now it was alive. One fallen angel whispered. What is this place called? Lucifer answered quietly. Hell. The word echoed across the wasteland. And the world accepted its name. Time passed. No one knew how long. Time flowed differently in hell. The fallen angels began to change further. Not by punishment, but by nature. Hell reshaped them. Their wings grew larger and more terrifying. Their eyes burned brighter. Their strength increased. But so did their hunger. Their rage. Their pride. Their desire. Emotions angels had never known fully in heaven. Some embraced the change. Others feared it. One angel came before Lucifer. "I feel anger," he said. Lucifer answered, "Good." The angel looked uncertain. Angels should not feel anger. Lucifer stepped closer. "You are no longer an angel of heaven." The fallen angel lowered his head. "What am I then?" Lucifer answered, "You are free." But freedom came with a cost. Not all fallen angels remained united. Without heaven's order, chaos began. Some angels fought each other. Some tried to rule territories of hell. Some lost themselves completely. They became twisted creatures driven by instinct instead of thought. These were the first demons. Michael had feared this. Gabriel had predicted it. Lucifer had expected it. One day Lucifer walked alone across hell. He observed what his followers were becoming. Some still looked angelic, dark but noble. Others had transformed into monstrous forms. Horns, claws, burning eyes, shadows moving beneath their skin. Hell changed each angel differently, based on their desires, based on their fears, based on their sins. Lucifer realized something important. Hell needed order. Without order, it would destroy itself. Just like heaven, without freedom, would stagnate forever. Balance was necessary. Lucifer climbed the tallest mountain in hell. It pierced the dark sky like a broken spear. At its peak stood a vast flat plateau. Lucifer looked across the endless wasteland. This would be the center, the heart, the throne of hell. He raised both hands. Power surged around him like a storm. Mountains shook. The ground cracked open. Black stone rose into the air. Massive walls formed. Spikes of rock twisted upward. Towers grew like claws reaching toward the sky. Flames ignited inside endless chasms. Slowly, a fortress took shape. Gigantic, terrifying, eternal. The first city of hell. Pandemonium. The fallen angels gathered below. They stared in awe. Lucifer descended slowly, dark wings spreading across the burning sky. One angel knelt, then another, then hundreds, then thousands. Not forced, not commanded. They chose. Lucifer stood before them. "You followed me from heaven." Silence filled hell. "You chose freedom." Flames roared around them. "And now we stand together." The fallen angels watched their leader, their king. Lucifer turned toward the fortress. "This is our kingdom." His voice echoed across hell. No longer servants. No longer slaves. No longer bound. He walked toward the highest tower. Inside stood a massive throne carved from black stone. It seemed as ancient as the abyss itself. Lucifer sat. The moment he did, hell trembled, as if the world had been waiting for a ruler. Dark power spread outward from the throne, across the mountains, across the fire rivers, across the endless darkness. Hell had a king. Lucifer spoke quietly. "Heaven has a throne." His eyes burned like black suns. Now hell has one too. Far above, in heaven, Michael suddenly looked toward the distant universe. He felt it. Gabriel approached. "What is it?" Michael answered quietly. "He has crowned himself." Gabriel understood immediately. The fallen king. Michael nodded. "Lucifer, deep in hell." Lucifer looked upward toward the invisible heaven and spoke words no angel had ever dared to say before. One day, his voice echoed across hell. "I will return." The first demons. Hell was no longer silent. Where once there had been only emptiness and stone, now there was movement. Firestorms rolled across the plains. Mountains cracked and shifted. Rivers of lava carved glowing scars into the black earth. And everywhere, the fallen angels changed. At first the transformation had been slow, barely noticeable. Darkened wings, burning eyes, stronger forms. But now the changes grew deeper, more violent, more unnatural. Hell was shaping them, not gently, but relentlessly. Lucifer sat upon the throne of Pandemonium. From the highest tower, he watched his kingdom. He saw everything. The wars between fallen angels. The creatures forming in the darkness. The twisted shapes emerging from fire and stone. Hell was alive, and it was evolving. One day a fallen angel was brought before him. Two warriors dragged the creature across the black floor of the throne chamber. It had once been an angel. That much was clear. But barely. Its wings were torn beyond repair. Horns curved from its head. Its eyes burned with wild fire. Its body twitched unnaturally. It snarled instead of speaking. One of the warriors bowed. "My lord," it attacked others without reason. The creature struggled violently. It did not recognize Lucifer. It did not recognize anything. Lucifer stood slowly. His dark wings shifted behind him. He approached the creature. It lunged toward him and froze. Invisible power held it in place. Lucifer studied it carefully. This was something new. Not an angel. Not entirely. Something lower. Something corrupted. Something born from chaos. Lucifer spoke quietly. "What are you?" The creature only growled. Lucifer turned to the warriors. "Leave us." They obeyed instantly. Lucifer looked into the creature's burning eyes and understood. Hell was not just changing angels. It was creating new beings. Creatures born from fallen nature. Creatures without discipline. Creatures driven by instinct. Creatures that could spread chaos faster than angels ever could. Lucifer whispered, "You are the first." The creature twitched violently. Lucifer raised his hand. Dark energy flowed into the creature. Slowly, the wild movement stopped. The burning eyes became focused. Thought returned. The creature fell to its knees. "My lord." Its voice was rough and broken, but it spoke. Lucifer nodded slowly. "You will serve." The creature lowered its head. "I will serve." Lucifer spoke the word that would define them forever. Demons. And the first demon was named. Soon more appeared. Some retained angelic forms. Others became monstrous. Some grew massive like living mountains. Some became shadows that moved without bodies. Some gained wings like bats. Some had claws of black iron. Some burned constantly with fire. No two demons were alike. Each reflected the fallen angel they once were. Each reflected the darkness inside them. Hell was filling with demons. And Lucifer began to organize them. Hell would not be chaos. Hell would be a kingdom. He chose the strongest demons and summoned them. They gathered before the throne. Towering figures. Terrifying forms. Creatures born from rebellion itself. Lucifer spoke. Hell needs rulers. The demons listened. "You will become princes of hell." They knelt. Not out of fear, but loyalty. Lucifer named them one by one. Commanders. Generals. Rulers of regions. Lords of fire. Lords of shadow. Lords of torment. The hierarchy of hell was born. Hell became structured. Armies formed. Territories divided. Cities built from black stone and flame. The demons thrived in ways angels never could. They adapted. They evolved. They desired. They conquered. But Lucifer wanted more than a kingdom. He wanted purpose. And he knew where to find it. One day he stood at the highest tower of pandemonium, looking upward, beyond hell, beyond darkness, beyond the abyss, toward the world of humans. Earth, the Creator's newest creation. The beings that angels had been commanded to bow before. The beings Lucifer had refused to honor. Lucifer spoke quietly. They were given freedom. Fire flickered across the horizon. They were given choice. His eyes burned brighter. They were given everything we were denied. He spread his wings, dark and massive, and for the first time since the fall, he smiled again. "If they can choose." His voice echoed across hell. "They can choose us." And in heaven, Michael suddenly turned. He felt it. Gabriel approached quickly. "What is happening?" Michael answered with quiet dread. "He is looking toward Earth." Gabriel's expression darkened. "No." Michael nodded slowly. "Yes." Gabriel whispered. "The humans." Michael said softly. "He will try to reach them." And deep in hell, Lucifer spoke the words that would change humanity forever. "We will not remain forgotten." The temptation of humanity. High above hell, far beyond the abyss, beyond darkness and fire, there existed a world untouched by corruption. Earth. Green forests stretched endlessly beneath golden sunlight. Rivers flowed with clear water. Animals lived without fear. The wind moved gently across the fields. And at the center of this peaceful world stood a place unlike any other. The Garden. Eden. It was perfect, just as heaven had once been perfect. Lucifer stood at the highest tower of pandemonium, staring upward into the invisible distance. Though hell lay separated from the world of humans, Lucifer could still feel it. Life, warmth, light, hope. Everything hell lacked. Everything he had lost. Behind him stood several of hell's greatest princes. Winged demons. Creatures of shadow and flame. One spoke carefully. "My lord, Earth belongs to the Creator." Lucifer did not turn. So did heaven. Silence followed. Another demon asked, "How will we reach it?" Lucifer answered quietly, "There are paths." He had studied the boundaries of existence since the fall. He had learned something even heaven did not fully understand. Creation had cracks, hidden places, thin barriers between worlds, small tiers where heaven and hell nearly touched. Lucifer had found one. Deep beneath pandemonium lay a cavern older than hell itself. No demon had entered it before. The walls were smooth like glass, cold like the void. Lucifer walked alone into the darkness. The air trembled around him. Something ancient lived here, not alive, but powerful. A fracture in creation itself. At the center of the cavern floated a thin vertical tear in reality, barely visible, like a scar in the air. On the other side, light. Lucifer stepped closer. He could see shapes, trees, grass, movement, earth. For a moment Lucifer stood silently, looking into the world he had once refused to honor. The world that had replaced heaven in the Creator's plan. The world that angels had bowed to. The world he had rejected. Lucifer spoke softly. So fragile. His reflection shimmered in the tear. But not as he truly was. Too powerful. Too dark. Too visible. If he entered like this, heaven would know instantly. Michael would come, and the war would begin again. Too soon. Lucifer needed another form. Something small. Something quiet. Something unnoticed. He thought of the creatures of earth. Animals. Simple. Invisible to heaven's watchful gaze. Perfect. Lucifer reached into the tear. The barrier resisted. Light burned against his hand. But he pushed through. Slowly. Painfully. Reality bent around him. His wings began to dissolve into shadow. His form shrank. His light faded further. His power compressed into something smaller. Something subtle. When his hand emerged on the other side, it was no longer a hand. It was scales. Dark and smooth. Lucifer smiled. Soon after, a serpent moved quietly through the Garden of Eden. Silent. Patient. Watching. Adam and Eve lived peacefully among the trees. They knew no fear. No suffering. No death. They walked beneath sunlight without worry. They spoke with innocence. They slept without nightmares. They trusted everything. They questioned nothing. Lucifer observed them for many days. Learning. Understanding. Humans were different from angels. Angels obeyed. Humans wondered. Angels served. Humans dreamed. Angels were perfect. Humans were curious. And curiosity was the key. Lucifer found Eve alone near the center of the garden. She stood near a tree unlike the others. Tall. Ancient. Beautiful. The tree of knowledge. The forbidden tree. Lucifer coiled silently among its branches. Waiting. Watching. Then he spoke. Softly. Almost like a whisper inside her thoughts. Do you understand why this tree is forbidden? Eve looked around in confusion. Who speaks? Lucifer revealed himself slowly. A serpent wrapped around the branch above her. Eyes glowing faintly. Eve stepped back. You are not like the others. Lucifer spoke gently. I am only a creature of this garden. Eve studied him carefully. Why do you speak? Lucifer answered. Because you listen. Eve looked at the tree. We were told not to eat from it. Lucifer asked. And do you know why? Eve hesitated. No. Lucifer's voice became softer. Because it will open your eyes. Eve frowned. Our eyes are already open. Lucifer whispered. No. He leaned closer. If you eat from this tree. His voice echoed like a secret. You will understand. Eve's heart began to race. Lucifer continued. You will know good and evil. You will know truth. You will become more. Eve looked uncertain. The Creator said we would die. Lucifer smiled quietly. You will not die? Silence filled the garden. Lucifer whispered the final words. You will become like God. Something changed inside Eve. Not corruption. Not yet. Something simpler. Desire. To understand. To know. To become more than she was. Slowly, she reached toward the fruit. Lucifer watched silently. This moment would change everything. Eve picked the fruit. Hesitated. Then bit into it. The universe trembled. Somewhere far above, Michael suddenly stood. He felt it instantly. Gabriel turned toward him. What is it? Michael answered with horror. It has begun. Eve's eyes widened. Something awakened inside her mind. Thoughts she had never known. Understanding she had never imagined. Fear. Wonder. Awareness. She looked at herself differently. She looked at the world differently. She looked at Lucifer differently. Lucifer watched silently. Victory burned in his eyes. Humanity had chosen. Just as he had. Freedom. Adam would soon follow. And the world would never be the same. The moment Eve ate the fruit, the world changed. Not instantly. Not violently. But deeply. Something invisible spread across creation like a silent wave. Awareness. Choice. Knowledge. For the first time, humanity understood what it meant to exist. Eve stood trembling beneath the tree of knowledge. Her hands shook. Her breathing grew uneven. She saw the world differently now. The colors seemed sharper. The shadows darker. The silence heavier. She looked at Lucifer, still in the form of the serpent. You told me the truth, she whispered. Lucifer's eyes glowed faintly. I showed you freedom. Adam approached through the garden. He saw Eve standing beneath the forbidden tree. Something felt wrong. Different. He stepped closer. Eve, what happened? She held out the fruit. You must eat. Adam hesitated. We were commanded not to. Eve spoke softly. Now I understand why. Adam looked uncertain. Eve whispered. It will open your eyes. Lucifer watched silently from the branches. Waiting. Patient. Confident. After a long moment, Adam took the fruit and ate. The second choice was made. And with it, humanity changed forever. Far above the world. In heaven, the light trembled. Michael fell to one knee. Gabriel covered his eyes. Raphael stood frozen. Uriel whispered. The fall of man. Michael rose slowly. His voice was heavy with sorrow. He has succeeded. The voice of the throne filled heaven. Deep. Endless. Unavoidable. Humanity has chosen. The angels bowed their heads. Michael spoke quietly. What is your will? The voice answered. They will live. Gabriel looked up in surprise. Michael remained silent. The voice continued. They will suffer. Raphael lowered his eyes. They will struggle. Uriel whispered. They will learn. Then came the final words. And they will be judged. Back in Eden, the garden was no longer the same. Adam and Eve looked around in confusion. The air felt colder. The silence felt heavier. For the first time, they felt fear. They noticed their own weakness, their own vulnerability, their own mortality, and they hid. Lucifer watched them quietly, not with cruelty, not with hatred, but with satisfaction. He had proven his point. Freedom meant choice. Choice meant change. And change meant imperfection. But his victory did not last long. The garden filled with light. Blinding. Pure. Terrible. Lucifer recoiled instantly. Heaven had arrived. Michael descended into Eden. His wings filled the sky like burning suns. Gabriel followed. Raphael followed. Uriel followed. The archangels stood together. Warriors of heaven. Guardians of creation. Lucifer coiled tighter around the branch. Michael looked directly at him. I know you. Lucifer answered calmly. And I know you. Michael's sword ignited. You corrupt everything you touch. Lucifer replied quietly. I reveal what already exists. Michael stepped forward. You are forbidden from this world. Lucifer answered. And yet here I am. Gabriel spoke. You will leave. Lucifer smiled faintly. I already have what I came for. Michael looked at Adam and Eve hiding among the trees. They will suffer because of you. Lucifer answered. They will live because of me. Michael's voice hardened. You brought sin. Lucifer replied. I brought choice. For a moment, neither moved. Heaven and hell facing each other once again. But this time, on earth, the throne spoke again. Its voice filled Eden. Lucifer. Even Michael bowed his head. Lucifer did not. You will not touch this world again. Lucifer answered quietly. You cannot stop what has begun. The voice responded. There will be a boundary. Light spread across earth. Invisible. Eternal. A barrier between heaven and hell. Neither side could rule completely. Neither side could destroy the other. Humanity would stand between them. Lucifer understood immediately. The war would continue. But differently. Not with swords. Not with armies. But with influence. With whispers. With choices. With souls. Lucifer slowly withdrew into shadow. His serpent form dissolved into darkness. Before disappearing completely, he spoke one final time. I will be waiting. Then he was gone. Returned to hell. Michael looked at Adam and Eve. Sorrow filled his voice. You must leave this place. The gates of Eden opened. Beyond them lay the world. Harsh. Unknown. Real. Adam and Eve stepped forward. Into history. Into struggle. Into life. The gates closed behind them forever. Far below the world. Lucifer returned to pandemonium. The demons gathered. Their king had returned. Lucifer sat upon the throne once more. His dark wings folded behind him. One demon asked, My lord, did you succeed? Lucifer answered quietly, Yes. Another asked, What happens now? Lucifer looked upward toward the distant world. Fire reflected in his eyes. Now we wait. Far above, Michael stood at the edge of heaven, watching earth, watching humanity, watching the future. Gabriel approached him. Will they survive? Michael answered quietly, Some will. Gabriel asked, And the others? Michael looked toward the distant darkness below. They will fall. And so began the endless war. Not a war of blades, but a war of souls. Every choice mattered. Every life mattered. Every human stood between heaven and hell. Between light and darkness. Between obedience and freedom. Between fear and hope. And somewhere deep in hell, Lucifer whispered into the darkness. The fall was only the beginning.